Okay, we're going to approach script work. Every director or teacher has a fixed way, or pretty much, parallel ideas about how that might happen and how you might approach that. You read everything on the page, that's really helpful. What else might you do? Understand the other person's role as well. It's very important. Okay, great. Look at it piecemeal by piecemeal. Okay. Look at it in beat by beat, action by action. Yep. Find out the objective. Get a feel for the character. Okay. Try to visualise it in your mind's eye. These are all really good ideas. Anyone got some more ideas?
I read it twice, then I look at the punctuation, then I consider my objective and then my actions.
Good. Okay.
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere, the time, the place. Okay. Over to Melissa. This is Melissa Bruce, everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for coming, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting to hear what you're all saying and the ways that you approach a script. And of course, it's completely subjective. I mean, it's a very personal thing. But I think it's very important, I'm not sure your name, Mike, what Mike said. Initially, when you approach a script, to really look at the context of your character and to assess why is my character in this script in the first place before you start to look at your own part in the text. So if you don't understand the purpose of your character, you're not going to understand the journey of that character and the way it needs to tell the story of the overall script. So that's a really crucial thing. And often actors forget that and they just get out their highlighter and that's my bit, and forget it's about relationship with everybody else. And more importantly, it's about telling an overall story and you're just one part of that telling of the story.
Okay. What we'd like you to do next is to drill your scenes and in 5 minutes just get up and show us a cold read. Does that make sense? You've only just got the script, so get up and show us a cold read. You've got 5 minutes to prepare, okay?
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 lines, just 1 line each. What are you up to tonight? And, well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it? Okay, I'm just saying that really flatly without any expression. The purpose of this is to illustrate a point with regards to acting. But first of all, I just would like you to say those 2 lines, yours first and yours following, okay, to each other.
What are you up to tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay. All right. Now, a problem that sometimes occurs is with early stage acting is that people often try to be interesting. They try to be interesting and they try to show something to the audience in particular, rather than doing something to each other. Now, if you're not doing something to each other, there's no energy happening between the 2 people. And if there's nothing happening between those 2 people, then the audience or the viewers are unable to fully watch those 2 people relating, because those 2 people are watching us. So the best thing you can do to avoid that happening so that the viewers can completely absorb themselves in that relationship is to make sure those people are doing something specifically to each other. Okay? So I'm just going to give you an example. I'd like you to ask the question as an invitation, to invite her. Okay? And you've probably done work like this with John already, where you set objectives. Your objective is to invite her in the way that you ask that question. And initially, let's have your objective is to dismiss him. Okay, to dismiss him. All right, so try those lines again with those objectives in mind.
Hey, what are you up to tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay, good. So you can see already it's a little bit stronger because they've actually got something to do. Okay?
There's a reason why you're asking.
There's a reason, and it's you're not showing us something, you're doing something to her, and vice versa. Okay? That lets us into your world. So when you're ready, have a go at that.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Good. Okay. So you can see that there's something really going on between those 2 people and we have access into their world. All right, we'll go back to the original where you're not doing anything to each other, and I want you to be funny and you to be sexy. Go.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay, so did anybody feel that one worked?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not supposed to.
No,
Right.
I don't think it did. They weren't relating, no. Yeah, it was
It's a little bit fake.
commenting on the character, yeah.
Because the difference between being something, being funny, or being interesting, or being sexy, is quite.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to stand out.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's
showing
about
off,
it's
yeah.
showing something to the audience, as opposed to doing something to each other is quite powerful. Of course, it's better when you've had a bit of time to rehearse it and you can really strongly do that objective. But I think that's an important consideration when you're thinking about your scripts, to take into account what am I doing? I mean, acting is about action. It's about doing. It's not actually about showing, and that's the mistake a lot of people make. They think it's about being seen and showing off and proving things, but actually it's about doing something to another person. And sometimes it's quite difficult to work out what you're doing, so it's quite useful to bring in a physical action, only in the rehearsal stage, of course, and sometimes that carries through. But for example, if I said to you, can you push her? Now, I might mean that literally, physically, or I might just mean that subtly, metaphorically, okay? But I want you to literally push her, not too hard, of course, when you ask the question, to push her. And when you answer, think of one thing he would... To defend? Okay, yep, they're all similar, yeah. All right, can you try that one?
What are you doing tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay, have another go at it and just think about one thing you can do physically to defend yourself. Okay? Actually, defend's not as strong because that's something you're doing to protect yourself. Choose something you're doing to him.
Tease him?
You know, maybe like flick him or tickle or something that deflects what he's done to you. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay, good. Now I want you to do that same one again, except no physical contact. Just remember the experience of it, yeah.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
Well, it depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Good, lovely. So you can see how a physical action can really help you with that relationship.
So, what are you up to tonight?
That depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Good. Okay, the same one again without the physical action. Just remember the action.
So, what are you up to tonight?
That depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Okay, good. Now we'll just go back to the original where you're not doing something to each other, you're just trying to show the audience something. Can you be irritating?
I can be irritating.
And can you be patronising?
Yes.
Okay?
So, what are you doing tonight?
That depends on a few things, doesn't it?
Thanks for showing it so well. Theories proving correct.
Tried.
But did you even notice that with that one, they both kind of had an eye on us?
Yeah, yeah.
They were sort of
Sort of
half
play it
out.
out a bit.
Yeah.
There's no circle of concentration.
No,
That's
no,
right.
that's it.
It's about being something, not doing something.
I wasn't
So-
focused on him at all.
Yeah. And
They're
that
not
has,
relating.
Yeah.
that also has the bad consequence of self-consciousness. You start thinking about, do I look okay? Do I sound okay? Am I all right? If you're doing one thing to another person, you can't be thinking about whether you're doing it well enough. You just do it.
Oh, what are we going to do today?
I thought
What?
Hang on a minute, what did you say?
I thought we could go to the gym.
The gym again.
You know I gotta work out of my defense, honey.
I thought we could maybe go out for breakfast and then come back and have a nice hot bath.
Can I skip the bath?
No dear, remember the splashing?
Okay, what do you think is the purpose of these characters in the telling of this story?
I'm his wife and I'm like, I kind of baby him or something.
And I'm just a real ego tripping kind of no one can beat me type of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that response, and it's not incorrect, it's just I'm looking at language here and how you can prepare a script as an actor. In that response, it was very much about the objective is comedy, therefore as actors they're telling themselves we have to be funny. So they're going to have to act funny, okay? Now that's a strange way to approach a script to begin with. And then you both talked about what your situation is with each other, okay? And what you are, all right? You can't act what you are. That's not an action, that's a concept, okay? So before we work out what you're doing to each other, have a go at that. Have a go at being funny and being those things that you've described you are, okay?
Okay.
Once again.
From the top.
Oh, what are we gonna do today?
I thought
What? Hang on a minute. What did you say?
I thought we could go to the gym.
The gym again.
Yeah, you know, I need to work out on my defences, honey.
I thought we could go out for breakfast and then come back and have a nice hot bath.
Can we skip the bath?
No, dear.
Can I skip in the bath?
All right, I don't know if anybody else had this experience, but I tuned out a couple of times. I wasn't fully in there with the bath situation because I wasn't really allowed to be because they were with us. What do you think your character wants most?
Just to be a boxer.
To be a boxer? But in this particular scene,
I want her approval. I want her to agree with me. I want her to side with me.
And to stroke her ego.
Yeah.
so what's something you can do to get her approval? Some of the ways that you can
To impress me or?
impress, that's one.
I find it a little bit hard because reading on in this piece, she's already like that. That's her character. She
Yeah.
is babying me. That's the nature of who she is. That's how she's built.
Okay.
So I don't need to do really anything. I'm just me in my own little world, and she's just kind of a little puppy following
Well,
me.
you can perform you in your own little world, but it
Yeah.
won't be very interesting for us ultimately.
Okay.
You really need to work out what it is you are doing to her, even if it is blocking her out. You know, even if it is getting rid of her before you, so you can get to the gym quicker.
Okay.
Do you know?
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
always doing something to the other person,
Okay.
and it's really your job to work out what is it I'm doing to them. You know, am I trying to shut them up? Am I trying to seduce them? Am I trying to patronize them? Am I trying? You know, what exactly are you doing to them so you can meet your needs?
I'm trying to. Okay. I'm
And
trying
you
to
said that your
influence her,
needs
yeah.
were to get her approval.
Well, not really. I'm trying to influence you. Would you say?
To influence her? Okay, so that's getting more specific, that's good. And this sort of work gets you to that place of
Okay.
exactly what you're doing.
I'm just throwing things at you so that way you can say, no, but look this way. Look at it this way. So that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
great. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a think about what you're doing to him.
I want him to stop thinking about himself
Yeah?
and think more about us.
Okay.
What things that we
Okay.
do together.
Good. And so what can you do to get him to do that?
Okay. Try and overpower him and try
Overpower,
and
okay.
try to influence him by
Touching me. Go.
yeah,
you
like
can talk about it as a physical action.
yeah, like just trying to overpower him. What's words like that?
Okay. All right. So let's just clarify. What are you doing to her?
I'm trying to persuade her.
Persuade her.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe think about a physical action. What might be aligned if you did have to have some action?
Okay.
What would it be if you were persuading her?
Okay.
Just for the exercise, you may not keep it. And what are you doing to him?
Trying to
Is it overpower?
overpower. Yeah.
And what might be a physical action for that?
Okay. It's kind of ridiculing him, I guess, when he's maybe.
Okay, so there's a few things you've suggested, and they're not all the same.
Yeah, it's not
All
really
right?
making
It's-
sense.
And this is the art of the actor. It's about
Yeah.
choosing which one best suits the script.
I think you're trying to
What's that?
sway me. Would
That's
sway
a
be?
good word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. Okay.
I mean, words that have the double physical, mental meaning are brilliant because you can actually do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'll try and sway him.
Okay.
Trying to
Good.
influence you.
So you've each got one thing to
I'm trying to
do.
influence you.
Just one thing to do.
Okay.
Do it as well as you can. That one thing.
Okay, sway. Okay. Oh, what are we gonna do today?
I thought we could.
What? Hang on a minute. What did you say?
I thought we could go to the gym.
The gym again?
Yeah, the gym. You know, I need to work out on my defenses, baby.
I thought maybe we could go for breakfast and then come back and have a nice hot bath.
Can I skip in the bath?
No dear, remember the splashing.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Very
Now
good advice, very
my
nice.
attention was held throughout that, not just because I'm trying to prove a point, but I really was like, where are they going
Sure,
with this?
Yeah. They're relating.
Because it's fascinating. A relationship is fascinating. If you're acting a relationship, it's not as fascinating. It's a bit fake. So, yeah, thanks.
Once actors are confident at improvising, you can start moving them on to scene work. Basically get a two-hander, a scene with two actors. And what I do with them, I get them to look at the scene and work out what their objective is in the scene. What do they want from the other actor, and get them to plot actions for each bit of dialogue that lead to them achieving their objective. So they're all verbs, they're all doing words. They plot actions with the words and they play them in order to achieve their objective. There's some very interesting techniques that the actors can engage. One that is a lot of fun is called distortion. Now, what is distortion? It's about pulling things out of context. Think of plasticine. You can stretch it, you can roll it up, you can do anything you want with it. So get them to paraphrase the scene, to improvise the scene. Forget the script, just put it away for the meantime. They can use the context of the scene, the premise, and they can pretend they're underwater. They can pretend they're a 5-year-old. They can do it in a cartoon voice. They can do it in an accent. They can pretend they're 110 years old. So get them to play it. They can be melodramatic. They can be very theatrical. Get them to do anything they want to play it to the hilt in as many different ways as possible. And what this does is it breaks down the inhibitions with the scene and with the other actor as well. It's a lot of fun. So if you're running a group, get the actors to just try distorting the scene. Now, a very good technique you can engage when working with actors to limit them up is a technique called, it's a rehearsal technique, improvisation in the past, improvisation in the present, and improvisation in the future. Now, basically what you're doing is you're thinking about a continuum, a timeline, and you need to work out 3 hypothetical situations that are played in the form of an improvisation that the characters could have found themselves in the past, in the present, and in the future. So basically, you ask the actors to play out 3 improvisations. A hypothetical situation with conflict that they found themselves engaged in the past, they make them up. One they find themselves engaged with now, and one they find themselves engaged with in the future. Play this in again and watch the difference. It's quite a marvellous technique. It also breaks down lots of inhibitions and gives the characters a history. They've been somewhere, they are somewhere now, and they're going somewhere. So improvisation in the past, present, and future. Try it.